there, my name is Caitlin Barclay, and I'm a senior here studying Business Honors at the University of Texas at Austin. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to introduce you to the Canfield Business Honors community.
Hey everyone, my name is Will. I'm a junior at the University of Texas at Austin studying in the Canfield Business Honors Program, and we're really excited to welcome you to Discover BHP.
Yes. So a little bit about Canfield Business Honors. Obviously it's a program, but it's so much more than that. It's also a major, which you'd hopefully be in, as well as a community. And so for me, the community has meant everything here at UT over my 4 years. I'm an out-of-state student, and so some of my best friends here are because I am in Canfield Business Honors Program.
The Canfield Business Honors Program is also a major, and so all of us are studying and learning from some of the best faculty we have here in the McCombs School of Business. And so it's wonderful to be a part of a community that also learns together and thrives together.
Definitely. And so obviously you'll be hearing a bit more later about the community, the people in it, some of the students. But we'd love for you to kind of learn more. And please follow our Instagram at TexasCBHP. You can really learn more about the students who are studying abroad currently, the different classes and professors that we get to take and interact with. It's a really great opportunity to learn a bit more.
And before we talk a little bit more about the Texas Canfield Business Honors Program, we'd like to offer a little word from our faculty director, Dr. Almazan.
Hello, my name is Andres Almazan. I'm the faculty director of the Canfield Business Honors Program at the McCombs School of Business at the University of Texas in Austin. I would like to start by congratulating you for being admitted to our program. Our admission process has been very competitive, and we know by now that you are great students and great prospects for future leaders of our program. Let me emphasize 3 things about our program. First, the academics. Our students have access to the best classes in the McCombs School of Business at the rest of resources at the University of Texas. But it's not only the classes, it's the method of teaching that is special. We use the case method quite extensively and take advantage of the interaction of the students in order to promote the best possible practical learning among them. Our second aspect is community. We think that Canfield Business Honors Program is a community of students and educators that try to push themselves to the max. The third aspect is recognition. It is clear to us that our students have access to the best internship opportunities during the time in our program and also to the best jobs after they finish our program. We're very proud to have you in our admitted pool of students for the next class, and we hope that you join us in the fall. Below are the links to our website and frequently asked questions. During this event, we will have Canfield BHP staff in the chat to answer your questions. We will love to work with you. We will love to see you grow. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Paul Pritchett. I'm the Director of Academic Services for the Canfield Business Honors Program. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit more about what our program is, especially focusing on some of the academic opportunities we provide our students. I always like to say Canfield Business Honors is 3 things. So one, we're a major, we're also a program and a community. So as far as the major goes, we have about 16 core business classes that we're going to offer our students throughout the 4 years that they're here taking in a cohort model. So they're going to be taking those classes together with all of their incoming freshman class throughout their 4 years. So it's a great way for our students to get to know their peers a little bit better inside the classroom when they're working together in teams and through these case-based scenarios in their business classes. In addition to that, the programming for BHP, this past year we did over 60 programming events just for our students. So it's a great way for our students to learn a little bit more about each other outside of the classroom. So some of this program is very community-driven, where students will get to know each other through barbecues or trivia events. We have a leadership kickoff down in New Braunfels where students will have a day-and-a-half retreat and really get to kind of grow with each other and experience some leadership components. So that's a great way for students to really interact. In addition to that, we're also hosting events with recruiters. So we'll have companies come in and do events specifically with our students, as well as alumni. So it's a great way for students to get to know our alumni network through specialized small-scale events where they get to meet those alums and be mentored by those alums, which leads to a lot of opportunities for students down the road. And third, and to me probably the most important thing about our program, is the community. So really taking a large university like UT, which has over 50,000 students, and making it feel even smaller. The Macomb School has closer to 4,000 students. Canfield Business Honors has roughly 550. So it's really shrinking that university and making it feel a lot more like a small liberal arts style college, let's say, even though we're a business school, where you're getting a lot of that small community vibe with your classmates. What I really want to focus on today is specifically advising. So one thing we do to make the community feel a lot smaller is have our own dedicated advising team just for Canfield Business Honors students. There's 3 of us who handle the vast majority of the advising. Myself, I've been, before working for Canfield BHP, I worked in the business industry and consulting and financial side. I've been with BHP for about 7 years now, so I've seen it all when it comes to working with students. Another one of our advisors is Stephanie Cantu. She's likes to call herself extremely special because she actually graduated from Business Honors along with Plan 2, which I'll talk a little bit more about that double major with Business Honors and Plan 2 in a second here. But she knows everything there is about the program and being able to double major in Plan 2. In addition, we also have Sarah Shields. Sarah Shields has worked throughout the university. She helps a lot with our CSB students, so making sure they're able to get their curriculum done on the CS side and the Business Honors side and working with them throughout the 4 years. So kind of backing up to advisors. So one of the main things we do is working with our students to make sure they can get through our program in 4 years. We want to make sure that students get what they need and have the resources to do that. So a lot of that is helping them to plan classes to facilitate how they're going to get through these programs in 4 years. The vast majority of our students will do a double major. I'd say the more traditional path is doing a business double major. All of our students, of course, are Business Honors majors, but the vast majority of them will add on a second business major. That's one of the really cool things about Macombs. You can add on any of the other majors and still get through those by only having to take about 4 to 5 extra classes. So if you want to do Business Honors in Marketing or Business Honors in MIS or Business Honors in Finance, you can add that second business major and still get through in 4 years. Another popular way that our students will do as far as double majoring is Business Honors and Plan 2. I mentioned earlier that Steph is our Plan 2 kind of guru and expert. Steph, when it comes to Plan 2 is a liberal arts honors program, so they're a lot like us, meaning they do have their own specialized classes, but rather than taking the very specific business classes, in Plan 2 students will be doing things like philosophy, history classes. They write a thesis at the end. So it's a great way to have a business component, but then also have that very that very liberal arts minded component as well. And then the third most common way that our students will double major is our new CSB program. So last year was our first year for the CSB program. We're excited to have our second incoming class this coming fall. In essence, what this program is everyone in CSB is in Business Honors, so they're getting that core Business Honors experience, but they're also in Computer Science Honors. So when they finish up, they're going to have a degree in Computer Science and a degree in Business Honors. So it's a great way for them to have some of those technical skills that a lot of companies and employers are looking for these days. So like I said, one of our big jobs as advisors is really making sure we help students everything from picking those classes to registering for those classes to giving them advice on how to fit this all in. But that's not the only thing we do. We also like to think of ourselves as kind of a home base. So the Business Honors office is a kind of a safe space. Students can always come here to ask for resources. UT is a very big campus. There's tons and tons of resources. I'll be the first to tell you that I don't know the answer to every single question on campus. But what we can do as advisors is we can point students in the right direction. So if they need some sort of guidance, whether it be academic inside the classroom or maybe something that's happening outside of the classroom, we're able to point them to the right resource on campus and kind of guide them along the way. So I think that's really one of the things that makes Business Honors feel a lot smaller, as far as the resources that UT has. I do want to spend another few minutes talking about orientation. I know many students have questions about orientation. When can I sign up? Which one should I sign up for? The good news is that orientation is now open, so you can register for it online, and that Business Honors and McCombs are part of all the orientations. So basically pick one of those orientations, and we'll have our own specialized programming for McCombs and for Canfield Business Honors within each orientation session. The way it typically works, orientation is going to last 3 days. On day one, students are going to do a lot of large-scale programming. So they're going to learn a lot of university resources and things like that. We'll end up splitting them up into all of the McCombs students and do some very specialized programming about all the resources that McCombs has. And then after that, we'll actually split them into an even smaller group of just Canfield Business Honors students, where our advisors will go over kind of what the first semester is going to look like for them. So kind of talk them through that. Day two is when students will get their own individualized academic advising appointment. So typically, you'll be sitting in with myself, with Sarah, with Steph, on a 30-minute appointment to discuss kind of what that first semester is going to look like. What classes should I be taking? I've got this AP credit from all these AP exams I took in high school or IB program. What does that mean? What classes do I need to take? What classes don't I need to take? So we'll kind of walk students through all of that at orientation. If you don't know any of that right now, that's okay. We'll talk to you when you get here specifically about those classes. And then on day three, you'll get to register. So typically, I think it's about 11 in the morning. Everyone will hop in a room and we'll get to register for classes. Your advisors, myself, Steph, Sarah, will be there with you to kind of help along the way, make sure you're getting the classes you need. A common misconception for a lot of our students is that if I don't get that first orientation, I'm probably not going to get the classes I want. That's totally false. No matter what orientation you sign up for, you have just as good a chances of getting the classes that you want to get. And the great thing about being in Business Honors is we have our own specialized classes that we save seats for. So you don't have to worry about fighting for those seats in your Business Honors classes. They're going to be saved for you. So we do encourage students to sign up, though, for orientation sooner rather than later. So when you're ready to go, to just go ahead and do that online. But it's been nice to talk to you a little bit today about some of the advising components we have, especially on the academic side. I'm now going to turn it over to Greta Finley. Greta does our career management for Business Honors, and she's going to talk a little bit more about the career side of things.
Hi, my name's Greta Finley, and I am the career coach for Canfield Business Honors Program. I've been at UT since 2005, and I've been associated with the Business Honors Program since 2011. I teach the first class in the business school that you're going to be taking. It's called a Career Development Strategies. It's a one-credit class, but it's all about you as a student. One of the things that we start out talking about is taking your career as a high school student and transitioning it to your career as a college student, and then ultimately your career as a professional out in the industry. One of the things for me that's very exciting at Canfield Business Honors is that students have all unique paths of where they're coming from and what they want to blend together to take it into their career. In BA 101, we talk about resumes, cover letters, how to shake hands, how to dress, what's business professional, what's business casual. I like the class a lot because it's something I'm very passionate about. It's about how do you take your academics and then take it out to get a career. Because it's not enough just to go to class and make good grades. You really have to be focused as far as learning and kind of growing with the process to get to where you want to go when you're going to be a professional. The final for the class is very unique. It's a mock interview. We go in the interview suites at McCombs. McCombs is a very highly ranked business school, so we have top employers from all over the country coming. Students always end up in a career that they really want, regardless of what the industry is going to be. I meet with all students in BA 101. We do a one-on-one for 30 minutes. I typically meet with students every year, their sophomore year, junior year. In McCombs, you have a internship that's required. Honestly, most business honors students do multiple internships because they want to try on different careers. It's kind of like going to a store and trying on a pair of shoes. Is it really going to look and feel like what you want it to, or is it something you kind of go, no, I think I'm going to put it back on the shelf? A lot of the students with Canfield Business Honors, they're very interested in multiple industries. They want to know, how can I do it all? They have a lot of interest, kind of like what you're probably doing in high school now. There's not just one set path as far as where you want to go. So as the career coach, one of the things I do is connect you with upperclassmen. Okay, right now we're going to go ahead and transition. We have a student panel that they're going to talk about their careers, study abroad, and then student life as a Canfield student.
Thanks again for joining us here today. We're excited to have 5 of our awesome students with us here to share some of their experiences as far as what they've done in the classroom, majors, things like that, but also outside the classroom as far as student organizations, some of their internship experiences that they're going to have after graduation. So I think what makes our program better than anything else is our students. When you get to know our students and they get to know each other, they're really the lifeline, the lifeblood of our program, and I think that's what makes us truly special. So I'm going to have Caitlin start it off to tell us a little bit more about who you are.
Of course. Hi there. I'm Caitlin Barclay. I'm originally from South Florida, Weston to be specific, if you've ever heard of it. And so here at UT, I'm a Canfield Business Honors major as well as a Management Information Systems double major. And I'm also pursuing a certificate through the Bridging Disciplines program in Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship.
Hi everyone, my name is Pranay. I am a senior majoring in CBHP, Finance, and Public Health. I'm from Katy, Texas, and yeah.
Hi, my name is Sharon Zoe. I'm a senior in the Business Honors, Plan 2, and Integrated Master in Professional Accounting programs, and I'm originally from Cypress, Texas.
Hey everyone, I'm Vishal. I'm a senior majoring in Business Honors and Marketing, and I'm from Cedar Park, Texas, just 30 minutes from Austin.
Hey everyone, my name is Will Champon. I'm a junior in the Business Honors Program. I'm majoring in Canfield Business Honors, Humanities, and I'm minoring in History. And I'm originally from Houston, Texas.
Very impressive. A lot of different majors that you talked about. Talk about internships. Everybody knows that one internship is required. A lot of times they talk about Canfield Business Honors. They do more than one. So if you just kind of share where you've interned. Did you intern after your freshman year, sophomore year? What did that look like? Kind of your experience.
Very cool. So after my freshman year, I actually interned at a law firm called Vincent & Elkins in Houston. As at the time, I was really trying to explore what I wanted to do with my career, and I knew that I did want to do something business related, but I also wanted to explore something outside of that. And so I worked at a law firm for the first year, and then after that, I decided to work at Accenture, which is a consulting firm, and that really opened up my eyes to the world of consulting. And so this upcoming summer, I'll be interning at Boston Consulting Group in Dallas.
Yeah, I did a couple different internships ranging from like wealth management and investment banking to aerospace advisory and then technology recently. And I've enjoyed all my experiences doing that. I learned a lot from it, but in the process, I was just looking to explore as much as I could about my career options, and it was really helpful in a sense. So one of my most memorable ones was freshman year. I got to do an internship in China, in Shanghai, at an aerospace advisory firm, and that was actually set up through UT, and the Business Honors community was really helpful for that purpose.
Yeah, kind of along those same lines, did a variety of different internships. After my freshman year, I worked at a corporate relocation firm, which is very cool, very different. And then after my sophomore year, interned at Goldman Sachs in their internal audit division. And then after junior year, stayed with Goldman Sachs doing private wealth management. But to continue with diversifying, during the school year, I interned at a semiconductor company and also doing internal audit for them. So I've gotten a variety of experiences through these internships.
Yeah. So one thing that I think is really cool about Austin is the number of opportunities and internship opportunities that a lot of students actually get to take on during the school year. So during my freshman spring, I actually got to intern at a really small private equity shop in Austin that really kind of introduced me to finance and kind of helped me solidify my interest in it. So then my freshman summer, I actually ended up getting to study abroad in Hong Kong, but my sophomore summer, I ended up getting to go to New York to do investment banking with Wells Fargo Securities. Had a really great summer there and ended up getting to spend my junior summer at Goldman Sachs doing investment banking as well, where I plan to return full-time in New York.
So kind of to round that off, I've been all over the place as well. I actually came in during freshman year already with one professional experience under my belt. I started my own company in high school and have managed that throughout my 4 years here at UT in the Canfield Business Honors Program, which has been an incredibly valuable experience, but more in the more formal professional setting after my freshman year. I studied abroad for half of it and then interned as a marketing intern at an automobile company in South Florida. The following summer, I interned as a product management intern here in Austin at IBM in their design studios, which was awesome and very pivotal in kind of deciding what I really wanted to do. And then this past summer, I was at PwC in Dallas doing tax technology.
Wow, quite a group. I think that's quite impressive to hear some of the internships and job opportunities you're going to have after you graduate. But I think a lot of students also want to know, like, what are some of the fun things you do outside of the classroom that don't involve jobs and internships and things like that? What are some of the ways to get involved on campus? I know some of our students are very dedicated to doing stuff specifically with BHP, but I think that's the cool thing about UT, is you have the ability to kind of get out there and join thousands of different, I think it's like 1,100 different student organizations. So what are some of the fun things y'all have done outside of the classroom throughout your 4 years?
Oh my goodness, there's so many options. So the first thing I did freshman year is I joined a sorority. So I'm part of the Greek community here, which was a great way for me to meet people and socialize and kind of enjoy everything that college has to offer outside of the classroom. I've touched a little bit of the entrepreneurship community, but really I've spent most of my time in the business honors community. I plan Leadership Kickoff, which is the retreat all freshmen take the first weekend of college. We take you guys to a ranch outside of Austin and do all of these bonding activities. It's such a great time and one of my favorite memories of college. And then I've been a peer mentor in the Business Honors Program for 2 years.
Can you talk a little bit more about what that peer mentoring is?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. If you're not familiar with what peer mentorship is, as a freshman, you come into the Canfield Business Honors Program and probably not knowing anyone like me, so it was a really pivotal part of my college career. And you're kind of grouped into a group of 10 with other freshmen, and you're assigned a junior or senior in the program to kind of act as your mentor and help you transition from high school to college, wherever you may be coming from. And so it's a great experience. You have classes that you take with each other, and it's just a great way for you to meet more people in the community that you're newly a part of.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I've also had the opportunity to join a lot of different organizations that have really helped increase my feeling of belonging and community while here at UT. So my freshman year, I actually got to join an investment team called the Texas Undergraduate Investment Team, where I've just spent a lot of time yeah, we talk about finance, but we spend a lot of time just having socials, hanging out, going outdoors, going to Barton Creek, having a good time as well. And my sophomore year, I joined, or my junior year actually, I joined the Texas Blazers, which is a service organization on campus. And we do a lot of different service, in East Austin with a school over there, and service on campus as well by hosting different events. So those have been two of my biggest involvements on campus, and I've been really thankful to have found such a great community in them.
Yeah, like Pranay said, I definitely think the different orgs on campus are a great way to get involved with community and meet different people and do a bunch of different things. So I've been involved with two major organizations on campus. The first is in my freshman year, I joined the CBHP Ethics Board. And so we're a group of about 10 to 15 students, depending on how many are here during the year, who act as liaisons between faculty and staff and students to really work to promote the ethical environment in and around CBHP. So it's great. We put on a bunch of events throughout the year, and we get a lot of people talking about some really important issues. And then, so that's my business honors org that I'm a part of. And then outside of CBHP, I'm also a member of Apricity Magazine, which is the official literary arts magazine of UT Austin. So that's a really fun one. My friends and I started it when we were freshmen here, and then in the past 4 years, we've really seen it grown, and then we've gotten so many submissions from people, students on campus, and even international submissions all around the world from really talented people. So it's been a great journey to work with those people to kind of start a little passion project outside of class and then just really work to build that up.
Yeah, for me, I joined a couple different organizations my freshman year. I think UT and Business Honors Community and Macomb provides a great environment for us to meet other people through these student organizations. I learned a lot. I met some really cool people, and the organization I joined freshman year was Texas Stock Team, which is another finance organization, but it was a great group of people, and I got to grow along with them, and we had fun times outside and stuff like that, so it was great. And then most recently, not this spring, but the last spring in 2019, I helped co-found an organization called Product at Texas. So that organization is focused on helping people get into product management roles in the technology field. So this is something that I've been working on and enjoyed it a lot. But what you'll see at UT and the Business Honors community is that there's always an opportunity for you to join an organization, but there's also an opportunity for you to start an organization.
No, I think that's really true. A lot of business honors students are incredibly entrepreneurial, even myself included. My freshman year, I started an organization called Doctors Without Borders at UT Austin. When I came to UT, I was definitely interested in the pre-med kind of space, and I wanted to still work in humanitarian medicine in some capacity. And so with a couple of friends, we decided to create our university's first chapter of Doctors Without Borders. And through that organization, we've been able to serve communities all throughout Austin, specifically the communities that Doctors Without Borders works with out in the field. And so that's been a really enriching experience because although Business Honors is such a great community, UT is in a huge school, and you have the opportunity to meet so many different people with so many different backgrounds and passions. And so definitely exploring your interests outside of the program is really important. But something that I always felt was that the Business Honors community for me has been so impactful and so meaningful in my college career that I decided to apply to be a peer advisor in the program after my freshman year. And so in that role, I essentially serve as kind of the front desk assistant to the office. I work with a lot of students who come in and have advising questions. And it's a really unique opportunity because students like myself come in all throughout their time in the program, have a ton of questions about how they can be successful in the program academically. But there's not always the availability of our advisors. So having a peer advisor, someone who can directly empathize with the classes and experiences that you're having as a UT student, is a really unique facet of our program, and I've really enjoyed that opportunity because as a peer advisor, I get to meet all of my peers and get to see how ambitious and outgoing and how just passionate all of my peers are. And I think getting to serve the community has been really enriching for me, and hopefully if you come to UT and you are part of our program, you'll see me at the front desk.
And Will was pretty cool the other day. Tell him about the story. Will came in with a group of his student org, and they all came and serenaded us with a song the other day. What was that all about?
Yeah, so I'm also part of an organization at UT called the Tejas Club, which is a spirit organization. And a lot of what we do is bringing together a lot of the leaders on campus to kind of bring spirit to the university through events that we host at our home and on campus. And so on March 2nd, which is Texas Independence Day, we decided every year we go on campus and we hand out yellow roses, which is the flower of Texas, and we sing songs to different departments and offices around campus. And so although I was on shift at the time, I couldn't go and sing and serenade the community, but I decided to bring the community here to BHP, and I had Paul and some of the other advisors serenaded on March 2nd, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We had like 25 people standing in here just singing at the top of their lungs. We got some looks from around the hall, but it was a pretty cool experience.
I actually got to see that on social media. It was pretty impressive. It was a cappella group for sure.
Exactly.
Well, one of the things you all are extremely involved. Obviously there's a lot of time spent in the classroom, projects, group projects that you do. How do you make decisions as far as what you decide you want your major to be in addition to Canfield Business Honors? And how did you decide, starting a student organization, starting a magazine, how did you find the time to kind of balance everything as far as your community, your academics, having fun, sleep, Netflix maybe? How did you make those decisions?
Yeah, I think when you come to UT, there's so many opportunities available to you. It's a massive school. Even just within the business school, there are a ton of student organizations to join. But I think the biggest source of advice that I had was from other upperclassmen in the program. So upperclassmen who have kind of gone through the ropes, explored UT, figured out what they want to do, have so much experience and knowledge that they're always willing to share with you. I know for me personally, my peer advisor, who was a junior at the time, gave me so much information about how I could pursue a major outside of business. So through his experience being a Plan 2 major, as well as adding an English degree, inspired me to just pursue a degree in history outside of the Canfield Business Honors Program. But you think outside of that, you see all of these other business honors students who are so passionate and involved on campus. As soon as you get here, you also want to be involved and similarly passionate about the things that you're doing. And so I think there's that kind of entrepreneurial spirit and that kind of ambitiousness that kind of exudes throughout the program. And I think immediately when you're immersed within that community, it's really easy to figure out how you can navigate both being involved and both being the best version of yourself, both academically and personally as well.
Yeah, for me, like I said earlier, I tried doing internships in many different fields, and that was pretty much what helped me a lot in determining what major I wanted to do in the end. So initially I came in with in addition to business honors, doing finance, but then I later realized after doing an internship at IBM, it was actually in the same summer with Caitlin over there, I realized that marketing would be really helpful in the technology field, and during that summer I fell in love with technology. So that's why I decided to go into marketing. And then on top of that, in terms of organizations, right, you meet a lot of different people, like Will was saying, mentors, upperclassmen, also your peers in your own year. They tell you about different sorts of activities happening around, and in the process you get to find out what you really like and help prioritize that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't emphasize enough how inspired I am by all my peers in the program and how much they push me to continue to push myself to be better as well, so definitely echo all of that. In terms of choosing my major outside of CBHP, I'm an accounting major, so I originally thought I wanted to do supply chain because even before coming to UT in business, I thought I was going to be an engineering major. Obviously, it didn't happen, so I thought I would try to compromise by doing a supply chain major with logistics and optimization and all that. And then I took my first accounting class, and then I realized, oh, so this is where I feel comfortable. I really like these numbers and stuff. So that's how I ended up deciding to be an accounting major instead. And like Michelle was saying, doing internships and stuff also kind of solidified that, okay, this is what I'm actually doing in the workplace. This is what accounting majors actually do when they leave school. So just kind of reaffirmed that, yes, that I had chosen the right major.
Yeah, so I actually came into UT as a CBHP major as well as a public health major. I had some interest in exploring the healthcare space, thought maybe I would be pre-med, but ended up choosing not to be pre-med after I got here and took some of those classes, even though I am completing my public health major. I ended up really finding my interest in finance after I joined my investment organization and also did an internship in private equity in Austin in the spring of my freshman year, and really realized that that's where a lot of my interests lied. And then like also with regards to the point on how does everyone manage to do everything that they do, because I'm constantly amazed by like what my peers are doing and how they're managing it on top of all of our like crazy course loads. I just think it's a lot about trial and error and finding out what works for you. I think my freshman spring, I was taking on too much. I was in organic chemistry, I was in genetics, I was doing an internship alongside MIS and business communications, which are two of the hardest courses BHP freshmen take. And I think like through that semester and just really realizing that I need to prioritize schoolwork over like some of the other activities at different points, just to make sure that you do make the most of your education while you're here at UT, like just helped me learn and recalibrate and understand how I can take on the next 3 years. And since then, I've really been able to like actively and properly like accommodate for all of the different things that I've been wanting to do. And I think it's just a lot about trial and error at the end of the day and figuring out how exactly you want to manage everything.
So they took pretty much everything I was going to say. But pretty much, as I mentioned earlier, I came in dead set on marketing, did a marketing internship after my freshman year and really enjoyed it. Took the introductory marketing course, also loved that. And then kind of the opposite of a shawl, when I did my IBM internship that sophomore summer, I realized how much I loved the MIS 301 class that we're required to take in the program. And it kind of reminded me of my passion for technology. And so I actually shifted majors like 4 different times in college. Greta knows all about this, same with Paul. And so I ended up being an MIS major because I really wanted to dive into the hard skills, since I knew that those would be a bit more difficult for me to learn on my own, especially because it doesn't come naturally to me. And that's one of the things that the program's really taught me, is to like push yourself very hard in things that you're passionate about. You'll take classes in all different areas. I took accounting with Sharon, realized that was not my cup of tea, but it's definitely hers, and that's great. But in the end, I realized MIS was the right path for me. I was pursuing a marketing minor for a period of time, and absolutely loved the classes I took in that and learned in that area. And there's so many opportunities to kind of pursue your passions inside and outside of the business school with all of our different majors. In terms of balance, they've covered it all. I was going to say trial and error, actually, because I mean, you try a semester, you overload, you overcommit, you're like, wow, I'm not going to do that again. You decide, or reshift your priorities, and then come back the next semester with a different mindset. And I feel like that's all about college, is the learning and growth over the 8 semesters, or 10 if you're MPA, that you have on the 40 acres.
And I would say like the benefit of being at such a large institution like UT, like you really do get the ability to try out so many different organizations, so many different majors, and really like discover and figure out what you really like. I think that's like one of the benefits that's really understated about being here and coming to this school, is that like sort of ability for self-discovery.
I'm going to piggyback off of that real quick. I would 100% agree. As I mentioned, I had an interest in entrepreneurship, still do, of course. And so through a bit of digging around the different resources we have here, which is just the endless opportunities, like I mentioned, I'm pursuing a certificate through the Bridging Disciplines program, which encourages interdisciplinary learning. So part of that requirement for my degree in innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship is to take classes in the advertising school, the liberal arts school. I've taken a lot of design thinking classes, which is one of my biggest passions that I never knew I had. And there's so many opportunities and areas to learn on campus, both inside and outside of the classroom.
What is a certificate?
A certificate's good question. So you have majors and you have minors. The certificate's kind of in the middle in terms of course load, and so it's a great experience to kind of pursue something a bit further than just a minor, but not as much as a major. That's kind of vague, but yeah. I would say it's in the middle.
That's a good explanation. I think one thing that we sometimes don't think about either when students are deciding on where they want to attend college is the city of Austin. I think it's a great place to be. What are some fun experiences you've had in the city, or at restaurants or whatever? Just maybe share a couple of fun Austin experiences you've had that don't necessarily have to do with school or classes.
So I'm a huge foodie. There's arguably no better place. When I was looking at different colleges, especially being from out of state, a lot of the schools I was looking at were in smaller college towns, which are great, don't get me wrong, but that was one of the biggest draws for me with UT. You're in one of the biggest growing cities here, and there's so much to do, whether it's ACL or just hiking on the weekends, swimming in some lakes or things like that. But for me, the food is the biggest draw. And I'd never had queso actually before coming to Texas. I'm a convert for sure.
Where's the best queso?
Oh
Put
my
you on the
God.
spot.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get shade for this, but probably Torchy's.
Yeah.
It's like a bit spicy, I like it.
It's hard to go wrong with Torchy's queso.
Yeah. I would say, like Caitlin, I'm also a super big foodie. Like, I really like the fact that Austin has so many different cool events set up all the time. Like, just a couple weeks ago, it was the 7th birthday of one of the restaurants that I've really wanted to go to for a long time.
Which one?
Laundrette. Yeah, and
Oh my
they
God,
were.
you went?
Yeah, I went.
No.
Yeah. They were handing out like free ice cream birthday ice cream sandwiches, and they were like really, really good. And I loved the restaurant. And outside of food as well, like Caitlin was saying, there's so much to do outdoors here. Like, I really like exploring that scene as well, whether that's going down to the Barton Creek Greenbelt or going to Zilker in Austin, or even like driving a little bit outside of Austin and going to Enchanted Rock State Park or Pedernales Falls. It's just like there's so much to do here. And like as a student, to have that ability to just like get in a car and go somewhere and just have so many activities just like in front of you is just like such an incredible time to like be in college here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but food scene is definitely top notch here in Austin. I really enjoy it when like my friends or someone just like drags me out and says, "Hey, let's just get brunch at this random place that none of us have ever tried, but it looks good on Instagram, so let's go." And then we just go and we have a great time. So it's a bunch of all the random things that have happened since coming on campus, all the random little excursions or like picnics or whatever it is in random parts of Austin have definitely keep the college life interesting. So.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep the pattern going.
We like food.
We all like food. Yeah, the food scene here is great. I think what makes Austin's food scene really special is there's a lot of food trucks out here, especially there's a lot really on campus as well as right next to campus. So the food trucks are really interesting because like you have different sorts of smaller bites and also more authentic food as well. So it's great in that sense. And then like Pranay was saying, there's the nature scenes around is actually really good too. There's the Greenbelt, Mont Bernal, and all of those areas. And on top of that, there's like music festivals and South by Southwest and all of that usually happen every year, right? So it's always something fun that happens in the fall semester and in the spring semester.
No, I definitely agree that Austin food is like one of the best things about the city. But something I will say is when I first came to UT, I didn't have a car. And so one thing I loved about Austin is how accessible the city is. So every UT student has their student ID, which allows them to ride the metro for free. And so I can get downtown, any part of Austin, honestly, north, south, east, west, really easily, which is really nice because, like they're saying, there's so many great restaurants to go to, but if you don't have a car in a lot of cities, I'm from Houston personally, and it's incredibly difficult to get around without a vehicle. And so being in Austin and being a student as well who didn't have a car, like it was so nice to have like that accessibility in the city. But I think for me personally, like I'm really into music, and I'm sure all of us have like Spotify. And sometimes I like to listen to like all those random songs that come on my Spotify, especially on my Discover Weekly, and I'll listen to a new band, and for some reason I'll check and see if they have a concert coming up, and there's always a concert happening in Austin in like the next couple of months from like any band. Like Austin is like one of the is the live music like capital of the world, and so every band, every artist wants to come down here, and they do, and a lot of time the tickets are super cheap, and so I love going down to Stubbs or Emos and like listening to a good band. And a lot of times these bands will come really close to campus as well, or even to some of the concert halls here. And so honestly, the music scene here is fantastic. And so I think between the food, the music, and honestly the outdoorsy things that you can do, like Austin's like the best place to be as a young person.
I think I've been in the Austin area for about 10 years. So I've been here for a while, and I was in the suburbs though, but then when I came to UT, I realized there's a whole nother world over here. And there's pretty much, you have the perfect blend of a smaller college town kind of feel as well as downtown. So you have the variety of downtown and also the accessibility and the close-knit community of a college town. So I think that's where Austin really presents itself as.
I will also say that to the accessibility thing, like the free metro stuff is definitely awesome. Definitely took advantage of that a lot before I had a car on campus. And then also though, there's so many things happening like on UT's campus as well. There's so many, we mentioned there's so many different orgs on campus, and there's always something happening on campus, whether it's free movie showings Thursday nights at the Union, or just random clubs putting on like a cappella performances, or really anything that you can think of. It's probably going to happen either on campus or somewhere really, really close to campus. Yeah. So that's definitely what makes things very fun and interesting.
Has anybody ever been to Cactus Cafe? Speaking of music on campus?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
I haven't been to a concert there.
Oh, yeah.
They do them, but I've been there just to hang out with friends. It's like
Okay.
a great place on campus in the Union that I've been able to hang out at before.
Has anybody ever heard the music there in the evenings? Yeah, they have. It's not ACL, obviously, by any means, but it's almost like a listening room. It's just very high touch. A lot of times the tickets are really reasonable, and so it's a great place to kind of grab some friends and go. Also, there's the bowling on campus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Union
Bowling
Underground.
alley here.
Yeah.
So a lot of times students talk about when they're getting ready to leave campus or for the summer or for good, going to their full-time job, that there's, they have a list of things that they still want to do. What is something that's on your list that you haven't experienced but you want to go do?
Ooh, I think for me, before I finish UT, I really want to experience South by Southwest. It's a really unique festival, one where I know companies from all around the world come and artists as well. But the thing that I love most about South by Southwest is all the speakers. Something cool about UT is that speakers always come to campus, whether that's at LBJ or any of the other schools on campus. They always bring in really cool speakers. But South by Southwest is a very uniquely Texas, Austin event, and that's something that I hope to go to in the near future.
Yeah, so believe it or not, I've not been to ACL, and that's something that I've been always wanting to go, but always the tickets go out really quickly. And I think I'm going to start full-time in Seattle. So I'm definitely going to make a trip down to Austin and see ACL, and then go back there.
So leave to come back to see.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that good.
Yeah. I mean, you two kind of took my two. I haven't been to South by or ACL yet, so definitely want to do those before I graduate. But also all the random little things, little pop-ups or whatever that are always happening in Austin. Really just want to go to a random one day when I have time and just go experience and just have a good time. So.
Yeah, there's this place in Austin called Jacob's Well. It's kind of like a place where a lot of people just jump into this really deep pit almost of water.
Water.
Yeah, it's full of water. It's full of water. Yeah, it's completely safe.
Not snakes or anything.
Yeah, there's nothing that bad there. Yeah, but it's supposed to be really beautiful and a really fun time. So I'm trying to make it out there in May whenever the weather gets a little better and it gets a little sunnier out.
Yeah. I haven't been to Jacob's Well either. That's on the list. Enchanted Rock as well. Waiting for it to get a bit warmer, and then I'll start doing some of those more nature excursions. And then my biggest thing is just working my way through my food bucket list, quite frankly. There's so many restaurants that keep opening, and I'm gotta get a reservation there, but I have to study. But I'll probably just go get a reservation. It's okay.
Yeah, and before we finish up, I did want to spend a little bit more time. We haven't really touched much on study abroad. I know there's a couple of different ways that students can do that. So we have our full-time programs where students can be gone for an entire fall or spring semester, which is a great way to really kind of immerse yourself into those cultures and those different universities. But we also have our summer programs where students can travel abroad with a lot of their peers for about 5 to 6 weeks and really experience some of those some of those great places too. Who did full semesters abroad? Okay, 3 of you. Anybody do the summer sessions? Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't y'all, let's start with the summer sessions. Maybe give us an idea of where you went, what class you took, and kind of what that summer session was like.
Yeah. I went to Buenos Aires with the Canfield BHP after my freshman year, and that's a really popular option for most freshmen. Great way to kind of meet all of the different people in your class that you might not have met during your first year in the program, and it's amazing. You just get to live and learn in Buenos Aires, which is a city I never thought I would go to. I never considered studying abroad until I came here and was presented with all of the opportunities, and it was such a great experience. I learned so much and got to practice my Spanish as well.
Yeah, so I actually went to Hong Kong right after my freshman year. And what's really interesting about the program, you're studying supply chain management, is that you get to trace a bunch of different products directly from the end consumer all the way back to the factories that manufacture them. So you start the trip by going to California and visiting a Target store there as well as distribution centers there. And you end up going back to Hong Kong, seeing the shipping ports there, and going back to factories in Shenzhen where everything is actually being made. And I think it's an incredible way to take hands-on learning to the next level. You're actually learning about supply chain and you're being able to visualize that at the same time. I thought it was an incredible program to be a part of. Got to meet a lot of kids in McCombs that were in BHP, and I really enjoyed that as well. And as for Hong Kong, I absolutely loved it. I think it's the perfect mix of both city and outdoors. You can go to a hike and end up at a beach after the hike on one day, and then the next day you can just be spending the day in the city and just enjoying and looking up and just staring at all the skyscrapers around you.
Yeah. So for me, I didn't exactly do a class abroad after my freshman summer. So during my freshman summer, I did an internship in Shanghai, and I was at an aerospace advisory firm. It was about full-time work, 40 hours a week, but it was really fun getting to work with people from the other side of the world and learning about how they go about things and actually understand the professional environment there was really helpful in learning and enjoying the unique atmosphere. So actually did that program with another BHP, CBHP student who's in my class, and we had a great time getting to know each other in their process. So I applied to the program through UT, and they helped set up the entire process and so forth. I traveled a lot. I checked out a lot of cool places in Shanghai and in other parts in China, and I ate a lot of good food over there when I was there. So it was a great experience.
And what about some of the full-term programs that y'all did, and maybe like how those differed? What you thought you got out of those compared to the summer programs?
Yeah, definitely. I chose to study abroad in Hong Kong in the spring of my junior year, so about a year ago today. And I chose to do that actually because I love my Buenos Aires experience and wanted more of an international experience, especially in Asia because I'd never been there. I chose Hong Kong because I had a lot of different friends who had done the summers there, and they said absolutely amazing things. Absolutely fell in love with the city. I couldn't say enough good things about it. And it was really cool because it was really like the bridge between the East and the West and opened up all of Asia for me to travel to. And they were really flexible with classes. I took a lot of my information systems and marketing electives there, and it worked perfectly. I got all of the credit I needed, graduating on time, not to worry. And it was just an incredible international experience and really made me want to pursue, hopefully, a career on an international level at some point in the future.
Yeah, I think that does help a lot of our students when they do travel abroad. They're able to get the credits they need, so it doesn't mean having to add on an extra semester or anything like that. You can go over and take a pretty full load of business classes and still kind of get that credit transferred back to help with your business honors degree and also your other majors.
Yeah, I actually spent last semester in London. So I really enjoyed that because it was like the perfect place to kind of visit a lot of the rest of Europe. So I went to like 7 other countries in Europe and also got to go to Morocco. So from a traveling perspective, I just had like a really life-changing experience last semester. Additionally, I really was able to expand my worldview by like making a super diverse group of friends while I was abroad. My friend group included people from Austria, from Germany, from Italy, and from Canada. So I really was able to like understand where different people come from, ask them about their political systems and ask them about their economic systems, and just like learn a lot through that sort of international community that also existed at my university there, as well as just like grow and learn from so many people from all parts of the world.
Yeah, last spring, my junior spring, I studied abroad the entire semester in Madrid. It was a great experience being there. I visited so many parts in Spain and then got to learn along with Spanish faculty members and other students over there. Had a lot of good food over there, and then I traveled around Europe as well as I went to Morocco as well. I think the greatest thing about study abroad is meeting different people from around the world and becoming friends with them. And then the other part is actually being part of really unique stories. So one of them for me was my Uber driver for one of my kind of short trips. He actually hiked with me at the end of the Uber ride, and this was in Spain. It was like in a small like rural area in Spain. So you always build really cool stories when you're studying abroad. So I think that's great. And then the other really good part is you have 3 different ways for you to do study abroad. One is through the Canfield Business Honors Program. One is through McComb's BBA exchange program. And then another one is through UT as well. So there's so many different opportunities for you to figure out which program is best for you, as well as find the classes you need. So for me, all 4 of my classes from study abroad actually counted towards my degree, and it's allowing me to graduate on time.
Yeah, and I feel like the commonality between all of this is we all did summers and a full semester. I don't know if you planned on doing a semester when you started college, but I feel like you really get like that travel bug essentially the moment you go abroad at all.
Yeah.
And so that's probably, I don't want to speak for everyone here, but that's really what brought us back the second time around.
And I think like the university just completely supports you while you're there and like make sure you're getting credit that you actually need to graduate. So like Paul said, I think like the study abroad programs are just a great way to like supplement your learning here at UT.
Yeah. And there's study abroad specific scholarships available through UT as well, so that helps support a lot of these programs, and it's great to take advantage of them as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Greta, did you have any more questions for?
One other thing I wanted to ask is, what was your favorite class, or what has been your favorite class so far? Whether it's one that's in Canfield Business Honors, in Macombs, outside, because I know obviously a lot of you are majoring outside as well. That's kind of helped change your viewpoint on things.
Yeah, we're not going to require you to answer, that it's a Canfield Business Honors class.
Just any class.
I think
Favorite class.
my favorite class would probably have to be a class I'm taking right now. So it's a government class on human rights and international law, and it's taught by a professor who's like a former lawyer. And so it's been really fascinating learning about international law, something that I never really thought I would learn about going into college. And right now, I actually just came back from a meeting with another professor who my current professor put me in contact with, who will be helping me on my thesis, which will revolve around international law. And so it's really cool because you'll take classes that will inspire you to further your passions and further your research interests. And so for me, that international and human rights class really did that for me. And I think because UT is such a large school with so many different colleges that have varying classes, like taking that opportunity to explore those classes and explore those other colleges is really unique, even as a business honors major.
My sophomore year, I took a class called Management, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. It's the Canfield Business Honors class. And I really enjoyed that class a lot. You learned a lot about how to create new products, how to solve problems, and how to iterate, and then build a company on top of that. And you actually, in the process, actually came out with a full business model, and you presented that. There was a prototype fair where your peers and other faculty members came and checked out your project and gave you some feedback. So I think the business honors community is really supportive, and I think that class was something that showed how supportive the community is and like how much you can push yourself into translating that into bigger picture ideas. I know a couple of those projects, students have been looking to actually launch that into a real company. So I think that was probably the class that really pushed me further into tech and more into product management. So I enjoyed that class a lot.
Yeah, I guess I have two classes. I'm also a Plan 2 major, which is in the College of Liberal Arts. So my favorite class from that major was all Plan 2 majors, all Plan 2 freshmen are required to take a world literature class in our freshman year. And my world literature class was with a really great professor. And the class was unlike any other class I've ever taken. It was literally my first class I had on campus. And I walk in, and we're all sitting around a table, and he's like, all right, everyone, we're going to meditate today. And so that's how we started off class. And then in the course of the semester, we had to have spirit animal names. So we were supposed to like have some sort of calling with some sort of animal. So we literally call each other like by our animal names the entire semester. There was world literature involved in the semester. Yeah, it was a bizarre class. But it was my first introduction to UT, and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm getting myself into. Yeah. But it was a great class, and kind of that sense of community and stuff. All of that was formulated through that class, and then. I also really liked the Innovation and Entrepreneurship class, and then I also really liked the Management 336 class, which is the second management class we have to take. And it was also a really great class in which I think one of the best things about CBHP classes are the discussions you get to have within class with your peers and with the professors. And through those discussion-based classes, like sometimes I'll see something and like formulate an idea, and then I'll hear what my peers are thinking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never would have even thought to like think in that direction before. So those sorts of classes are always great, and I really learn a lot from those always.
Yeah, I think my favorite class in CBHP was probably the same as Vishal's, the innovation class we got to take our sophomore year. And to like echo Sharon as well, I'm a strong believer in the case-based system that we use here at BHP to learn. I think like the idea that you get to contribute and learn from your peers constantly, like I'm always trying to raise my hand in all my classes just because I think doing so allows you to learn and allows you to become a more effective communicator. So that's been my favorite class within Macombs, the innovation class. But I think like I am very involved in Macombs, and my favorite class at UT has actually been in the College of Natural Sciences as a part of my public health degree. It's a healthcare policy class. I think it's really interesting to like be able to like explore issues that I don't regularly talk to with my CBHP peers and get to expand my brain in that way. And I think like everyone at UT has the opportunity to take classes outside of their majors as well and just take fun or interesting classes. And you'll hear about like my friends that are taking classes like meditation or like social dancing. Yeah, like they're doing so many cool things, and like I like think back on my 4 years, and I really think like, wow, there's so much that I wish I could have done. Like if you gave me another 4 years, I could have filled it with so much more enriching, educational, interesting, like outdoor experiences or learning experiences that would have really like shaped me even more.
Yeah, I'm going to echo the innovation entrepreneurship class that the CBHP requires us to take our sophomore fall. Absolutely amazing class. I mentioned that kind of introduced me to design thinking. So I'd say one of my favorite classes was introductory design thinking. It was in the design school, and it was taught by a design professional out in the Austin community who came in every Wednesday evening and kind of walked us through design methodologies, and we spent the entire semester working on a design pitch, essentially end to end, which was absolutely amazing. And then in the business school, being an MIS major, I'm in my capstone class right now to kind of sum up and culminate the major, and I absolutely love it. We're working with a real client, Dell Children's Medical Center actually, to develop a system for them based on a problem that they're having. And it's really cool to, obviously we do a lot of projects through McCombs and just through UT in general, but this one's so cool because it's involving a real client with a real problem. And so what I'm doing has a real impact on what they do on their day-to-day basis in terms of the processes that they follow. And so it's really impactful and really cool to kind of end my 4 years here making a real difference in the healthcare system at the Dell Med Center.
I think the great thing about UT is there's a variety of classes, and then on top of that, there's a lot of different teaching methods out there too. So you learn in so many different ways, and that shapes you into a different type of thinker as well as you grow. So especially case style discussions, right? Like what Pranay and Sharon already shared about how you learn from other peers, right? In fact, there's so many engaging conversations that happen between professors and then peers, and then sometimes they get into like a debate, but like it's an open, friendly debate where people are actually looking to understand each other's points. And I think this is what UT and the Canfield Business Honors community fosters. It's a healthy environment for learning and curiosity.
And sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
no,
Yeah,
just one more point to add to that. I think to the, or when Caitlin was speaking, I was thinking about it, like the professors who teach these classes are so incredible. I don't think I realized when I was getting into college in general that how many classes would be taught by such outstanding professionals in their field who know so much about what they're teaching, and they're literally subject matter experts and do consulting jobs for Fortune 500 companies on these issues and stuff. So getting to learn from these professors who actually, have dealt with these problems before and now are trying to impart their knowledge onto us is so invaluable.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome, and I think we'll just wrap it up with just one more thing. I'll start with Will, but I'll have everybody maybe just run down, and it could be a piece of advice for all of our students who might be deciding on different universities, different programs. It could be a piece of advice just of coming to college, but maybe just a quick tidbit or piece of advice that you'd want to give students out there.
Ooh, I think the biggest piece of advice is that going into your freshman year, wherever you go, hopefully here at UT, is to say yes to like everything, whether that's your friends asking to go out to that new restaurant that just opened up, or if it's to go to that concert that's happening down the street, like just say yes to everything. That even includes just joining student organizations. Fill up your time with all the things that you're passionate about, because UT has so many opportunities, and wherever you go will also have a ton of opportunities. So that first semester where you're at any university, just say yes to everything, because you'll never know what you'll miss out on. And like you said, you don't want to go through 4 years of college and miss out on any unique opportunity that might have been life-changing. So just say yes.
Yeah. I think the most important thing that I could share is like just be open to explore opportunities. So kind of on a similar note, and be open to doing a lot of different things, right? So from classes to organizations to internships, having an open mind about that will help shape your understanding and help you learn from different perspectives too. So I think that's the most important thing I'd like to share.
I think to build onto those things, I don't think this is going to be contradictory, but definitely say yes to everything, but also don't be afraid to say no to things. If you realize that there are things that, maybe all your friends or everyone in your program, whether you come here or somewhere else, they all are doing something, definitely say yes, try it out. But if you try it out and you feel like, oh, I don't think this is for me, it's totally okay to say no and to do something completely different, start your own org, take different classes, whatever it may be. You know yourself the best and you know your balance the best. So I would say that would be the most important thing that I've learned.
Yeah, I would say when you think about your college decision, like really think about the community of people and the community of the program and the university that you want to enter and how that would affect your college and experience. I would say like here in the Canfield Business Honors Program, being able to be in such a close-knit community with all of these peers, I love them all so much. Like I can't even imagine that like we're all about to go our separate ways. I mean, we'll all be connected regardless. Yeah. We'll be hanging out there. But like I think like the community that's really developed here is so special, and talking to any like current student in CBHP, they'll be able to tell you just that. Like you find such a great small community here through CBHP, and also have like the amazing spirit of being at the broader University of Texas. So I would say just like really consider that, and consider how like the environment here would be something that you would really be able to grow and enjoy.
Yeah, to kind of echo that, especially being an out-of-state student, the community is absolutely what sold me on the CBHP. I'd be more than happy to talk to any out-of-state students that have more questions about my experiences. I believe they'll link our contact information somewhere below this video. But for me, I would say the biggest piece of advice I have for wherever you go is have fun. Seems trite, but obviously college is all about the learning inside of the classroom, but I feel like we don't really ever highlight enough just the fun that you're allowed to have outside of the classroom. It's not necessarily all studying and tests and just being serious 100% of the time. Like, how are you supposed to form bonds with people if you're not like hanging out with them on the weekends, essentially? And so I feel like that's one of the biggest things that the CBHP promotes is balance, and really just bonding outside of the classroom as well as you are inside of the classroom as well.
Great. Well, I hope this helped to give you a little bit of a taste to what our community is like, what our students are like. As Caitlin mentioned, our students are usually more than willing to share information and answer questions, so we'll be providing some of their contact information. We also have our current Business Honors, Canfield Business Honors student recruiters, who their profiles are also online. You can contact them. They're great resources to be able to answer questions about day-to-day life in Canfield BHP, getting involved, and what our student community and life is like. So once again, thanks to our students for coming and talking to us today. Now we're going to move on to our next session. Thank you.
Congratulations. You've been admitted to what I believe is the #1 undergraduate business program in the country. In fact, I believe that so much that 2 years ago, Mary Beth and I invested $20 million into the Canfield Business Honors Program. And we invested that money to further enhance the program, to build the national reputation of the program, and most importantly, to recruit the best and brightest students from Texas and across the country. Students, as you look forward to the next stage in your life, know this: you are exceptionally talented and exceptionally bright. To be admitted to the Canfield Business Honors Program, you had to be in the top 1 or 2% of your class. You scored 1,500 or better on the SAT or ACT equivalent, and you've held numerous leadership positions during high school. Congratulations to all of you. Now make no mistake, I'm here today to convince you to say yes to Texas, yes to McCombs, and most importantly, yes to the Canfield Business Honors Program. I'm going to do this by telling you a little bit about my experience here and how this program truly changed my life. Now, I believe in business, like in sports, the fundamentals truly matter. At the Canfield Business Honors Program, you will learn the fundamentals of business, like accounting, finance, operations, business strategy. You'll learn them from the very best professors, and you will master them. Now, the fundamentals matter, but fundamentals alone won't lead you to tremendous success in your careers. You have to learn how to work in groups and in teams. You have to learn how to be a good teammate, and you have to learn how to lead. Now, I believe this is where the Canfield Business Honors Program truly sets itself apart from all the other undergraduate business programs in the country. This is because you'll be joining a class of 120 exceptionally talented students, and you will work together in small teams and groups. Now, sure, you'll compete with each other, but you'll compete with a spirit of collegiality. More importantly, you'll learn from each other. You'll recognize that every individual has a unique perspective. Success in business requires both leadership and collaboration. Collaboration is all about seeking out the unique perspectives of others, and leadership is about bringing that all together into a cogent solution to attack a business problem or an opportunity. The BHP culture and approach is the very best at facilitating that type of learning. At the age of 39, I was selected by my partners at GTCR to become the firm's managing director. Now, I believe my initial success at GTCR can be traced back to the fundamentals and the mastery of those fundamentals. And for me, those were accounting and finance. Now, the mastery of the fundamentals was necessary, but it wasn't really sufficient to become a leader in a leadership position at a private equity firm. To become a leader, you have to learn how to work with people. You have to learn how to lead. For me, the foundation for that came from the Business Honors Program. Texas and the Business Honors Program truly changed my life. I'm committed to making the BHP the #1 undergraduate business program in the country. So join me here together, and we will show that what starts here truly does change the world. Hook 'em horns.